Y'all, I could literally kick myself because I woke up, and this was Friday night. This was yesterday, right? I literally woke up and there was this very, very, very specific message that came to me. And it had something to do with something being done in the dark. Like, it wasn't what's done in the dark comes to light, but it had something specific to do about something being done in the dark. But I literally woke up, I got this message. I was like, okay, I don't know like what I'm supposed to do with that right now. And something told me, and this is like me still needing to get in my habit of being more obedient to spirit and like not wanting to always do things on my time, because now the message is gone and I've been trying to. This is the reason why I'm late recording this. It's because for the past 24 hours I have been trying to remember what the message was, and I can't for anything remember it, right? So that's a part of my lesson of still needing to stop wanting everything to be on my time, right? Still definitely learning lessons here, right? But anyways, it had something to do with like something being done in the dark, and something told me to get up, write it down, and then go back to sleep. But of course I did, and I was like, oh, I'll write it down later when I'm ready to get up and start getting ready. But for right now, I want to go back to sleep to get my sleep in, right? So I go back to sleep and have this very specific dream. And this dream was weird, right? I feel like the overlying message or the overall message is going to be what's really important. I know that like my cousin is like great. She is absolutely phenomenal at dream interpretations. And of course, like everything in the dream means something. Every symbol, every detail has some sort of significance. But when I'm dreaming about people that I don't know, that I've never met, sometimes I feel like some of the details may be significant, or I'm being shown certain details because it may be of significance to whoever the dream I'm supposed to be relaying the dream to, right? Because this dream, and it's not uncommon for my dreams to jump scenery, right? To start off one place and then end up another. But this was so random. It was so random, right? So I have this little depiction here that I created because this is hopefully going to help, because this dream was very messy, very messy. It was kind of like almost like a love triangle, but not really. So I was like, okay, let me just write this down so that way when I'm talking, it doesn't sound all mixed up and confusing, right? Okay, so this dream starts off literally with Divine Feminine walking down the street, right? It is fall time. There are literally leaves falling to the ground. Beautiful, absolute beautiful scenery. I can feel the weather. It's chilly outside, not quite like late. It's like mid-fall, like not where it's still hot from summer, but not quite yet where the temperature drops and it's getting cold. It's like beautiful sweater weather, right? Divine Feminine is walking down the street, and there's like this huge, like the leaves that are falling, I specifically remember them being orange and yellow. But Divine Feminine is walking, and there's this huge pile of leaves that are red. Like the entire pile of leaves are all red. I have no idea what kind of nostalgic moment Divine Feminine was in, but she literally stops and then just goes and dives into this pile of leaves. Like I do you, Divine Feminine, right? do you, Divine Feminine, right? But anyways, so there's this group of men, 4 men, right, that are walking down the street, and divine, like these men don't know that Divine Feminine is intuitive, right? So like immediately, and she's still in the leaves as they're approaching, but immediately she can sense danger, right? She can sense that something is not right. So these men are coming down the street, and they are trying to, like, let's just say the ringleader, right, is trying to devise a plan of how they're going to approach Divine Feminine. Now they have malicious intent, right? They have malicious intent on their mind, and they're trying to decide the best way to go about doing it to make it look like, let's just say like a crime of passion versus like something that's preconceived, right? So they see this child, right? This young male child that has nothing to do with anything, that is literally just outside playing. And then the ringleader goes, okay, I know exactly how we're going to play this off. So he's like, okay, we're going to go up to Divine Feminine and we're going to ask her, how much would you pay that child to rake up your leaves? Now, mind you, the yard that Divine Feminine is jumping in leaves, and this is not even her yard. Like, you literally went and jumped in leaves in a stranger's yard, like somebody's hard work. You didn't really destroy, but like you were having a good time, right? But their plan is that they're going to ask you, how much would you pay for this young man, this child, to rake up all of these leaves? And for some reason, they were wanting Divine Feminine to offer like this ridiculous, like, I don't even remember what the amount was specifically, but I know it was a ridiculous amount, right? And their thing was, they knew that she was not going to offer that. So he was basically like, we're going to try to put her in a situation where we get into an argument, a disagreement, so that way I can attack and make it seem like, oh, well, we just got heated, an altercation occurred, we got heated and things got out of control, to try to make it seem like, once again, like it was a crime of passion versus it being something preconceived. Now, y'all, this story makes no sense, right? This dream literally made no sense, right? So they approach Divine Feminine, and the conversation never even ensues, right? Because they approach Divine Feminine, and literally as they approach Divine Feminine, now they're on the bleachers, right? But now at this point, it's only Divine Feminine, this ringleader, and just various other people that are on these really, 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 I'm talking like these sky high, like the bleachers are very, very, very high up, right? I have no idea what location this is. And they get into an argument. They start tussling, and this guy pushes Divine Feminine off of the bleachers. He's intending to push her off so that she can fall to her demise, right? So he pushes Divine Feminine, and as she begins to fall back, she grabs onto him, and they both fall. Now, while they're in the air, I don't know what kind of Charlie's Angels super ninja this Divine Feminine is, but while they're in the air, Divine Feminine somehow is able to, because remember when they're falling, she fell back first and she grabs him, so she essentially was on bottom while he was on top. But Divine Feminine does this maneuver where now he's on bottom and she's on top, and she's basically like, okay, if we hit the ground, I'm basically going to use him as a human shield as best I can, right? But somehow, as soon as Divine Feminine does this maneuver where she's now on top, somehow Divine Feminine ends up back on top of the bleachers, right? Whereas this man literally falls to his death, right? Or his unaliving. I forget what all you can and can't say on YouTube, right? He's now unalived, and she ends up back on top of the bleachers, like unscathed. So we go from there to now there's this classroom, this huge auditorium-like classroom where all these people are in. The police come in and they're like, hey, we need everyone that was outside when the event occurred to come with us so that we can start the interrogation process. So they take everyone that was outside that witnessed. They're going down the hallway. There's like 3 police officers. They're all women. They're all female, right? One of them, the boss, the head, is like very frantic. Like she's going down, she's opening doors, she's very aggressive, she has an attitude, she's yelling and screaming, she's telling the other cops, do this, do this, do this, do that. She finds an empty room that's big enough for all the witnesses to go in, and she's like, tell them to go in there, tell them to be quiet, we'll be right back and we'll start the interrogations. So I noticed one thing specifically. Now at this point, Divine Feminine is the only suspect, right? Well, she's the only suspect, period, right? But I noticed that this aggressive officer is literally yelling, and she's being rude to every person except for Divine Feminine. And I found that very interesting, right? I found that extremely interesting, right? So everyone goes into this room. They're like tables with these long tables with almost like cafeteria style, like back when we were in high school and grade school, like the really, really long tables where you could have like 50, 60, however many, 70 plus people could all sit at the same table. So like the people go and sit, and they start like dividing into groups, like at different sections up and down the table. And I noticed that there is one person in specific who sits at like everyone sits at the same table, but they're grouped off, in pairs of like 3, no more than 4. And they're just sitting in various spots down the table with like plenty of space in between them. But there's one person who goes to a completely different table and sits by themselves. That one person is literally the only genuine person in that room. Like literally, not to say that everyone in the room is bad, but that one person is literally the only other divine being in that room, right? And this person is, I remember in the dream, she was short, she had glasses, she had beautiful long black wavy hair. I couldn't tell her ethnicity. She looked like she was like biracial, but I couldn't tell with what one of her races definitely was black, African American, but I couldn't tell what the other one was. It may have been like maybe Hispanic, but I couldn't quite tell. But she was definitely mixed, had dark brown skin, but she literally was the only other divine being in that room, right? So Divine Feminine is she's clairaudient, right? So she can hear. So even though everyone is in groups and they're all sitting at different spots in the room or different spots along the table, she can hear. Everyone's whispering amongst themselves, but she can clearly hear, as everyone was speaking out loud, the conversations that are being had. And most of the groups are saying, hey, she's innocent. We saw what happened. He attacked her first. Let's just tell the truth so we can get out of here, right? There's literally one person. There's one person out of everyone in there that you are close with, that you are friends with. This person is actually a fake friend. This person is actually a karmic, right? But this person, up until this point, you believed to be a friend. You overhear this person and the small group that they're in. You overhear them telling these 2 individuals that they're all female. Might I add, everyone in the room is female. All the witnesses, everyone in the room is female. You overhear this fake friend telling the 2 individuals that she's having a conversation with that you are jealous of her. And this is definitely a Divine Feminine who has gone through her shadow period, has been doing her work. So she's at the point where she's not going to shy from this. Is definitely in her Queen of Wands, right? This definitely is an Empress, but she definitely embodies all of the elements. She is Queen of Wands when she needs to be. She is Queen of Swords when she needs to be. She is Queen of Cups when she needs to be. She is Queen of Pentacles when she needs to be. At this moment, you are needing to be the Queen of Wands, right? But this divine feminine goes up to this fake friend, this karmic, and is saying like, wait, what do you mean by jealous? Like, we are literally in here for an investigation. Why are you telling people that I'm jealous of you? What does that even have to do with anything? And what would I have to be jealous of? Y'all, this fake friend, this karmic, literally looks at divine feminine and says that you're jealous of me because of R. Now, in the dream, R's name was mentioned. I don't know why. For some reason, I'm feeling the need to keep it private. I don't know why, right? Because it's not a very common name, but or it could be, I don't know. It's only a name that I've ever heard of, like maybe once or twice, right? But for some reason, I'm feeling the need to kind of like just keep it at that. But this literally, this karmic says, you're jealous of me because R wants me and not you. And divine feminine is like, what? Like, first of all, what are you talking about? Two, what does that even have to, I don't even want R, but even if I did, what does that have to do with anything of the situation that we are currently in? And the karmic literally goes, those men that approached you, that man that you got into the altercation with, they are all friends of R. All of them are friends of R. This news literally, like divine feminine, she almost loses her balance. Luckily, there are chairs nearby, so she falls back and ends up just falling into a chair and sitting into a chair. And divine feminine is like, wait a minute, are you telling me, like, is this your way of telling me that R set this up, that R has something to do with me being attacked? And literally, this karmic will not answer the question. This karmic just keeps repeatedly saying that you are jealous of me because R wants me and not you. So then at this point, I'm starting to get backstory, right? So I'm back. Divine feminine begins thinking about situations and circumstances that have happened, right? So divine feminine is sitting back and she's thinking on her friendship with R, right? Now R is a divine masculine, right? He's a divine masculine. He is in his emperor. Or prior to this happening, he was in his emperor status, right? He technically was a match for divine feminine, right? He actually wanted divine feminine because divine feminine is remembering instances or a specific conversation where R asked her out, where R said that he was interested in her, he really liked her, he wanted to be in a relationship with her, all this, that, and the third. And divine feminine, being that she is such a devout friend, this nurturer, this queen of pentacles, this mothering energy, she's also very, very emotionally intelligent, queen of cups. So being that like this empress cares about her friends so much, this empress knows that this karmic friend, this fake friend, has feelings for R, and that this fake friend wants to be with R. So divine feminine ends up turning R down and telling R, no, my friend likes you, you know that my friend likes you, and I cannot date you because that would ruin a friendship and my friendship with this person. Now let me a little backstory that I forgot. Divine feminine, R, and the karmic have known each other for years. They all went to high school together. So this is like a friendship that the divine feminine has had with this karmic since high school. Now, depending upon how long ago high school was for you, will determine how long this friendship has been in play. But this divine feminine is like, no, me and this person have been friends since high school. I can't, that would be overstepping a boundary for me. No, I care about my friends, and we have a rule that we do not date each other's exes. We do not date, if all of us like a guy, he is off limits, right? Because we have respect for our friendship. So she turns R down, even though, excuse me, y'all. Even though I don't have anything to drink right now, and my throat is getting dry. Even though technically R and divine feminine would be a perfect match, because divine feminine is 100% an empress, right? She's actually the high priestess, because this divine feminine is not only the empress, she's not only all four elements in one, she is the high priestess. She is intuitive, right? She is intuitive. So this empress and this emperor would in all other intents purposes be a perfect match, but she turns down this emperor because she has respect for her friend and for the friendship that she has with this karmic, right? Now this karmic doesn't know any of this. This karmic doesn't know any of this, and divine feminine tells R, we can continue to be friends if you are okay with that. We can continue to be friends, but I would never consider being anything more. And R tells divine feminine, that's the same thing that I told the karmic, that I just don't see you in that kind of way, that we can be friends, but I don't desire anything more than you than just a friendship. So while the karmic, now we're jumping back into present day in the dream, and while the karmic is telling divine feminine that divine feminine is just jealous of her because of R, the karmic at this point, R has already turned the karmic down, but the karmic doesn't know that divine feminine already knows this. R already explained the situation to divine feminine, but the karmic doesn't know that. So she's speaking as if R wants her, as if they're going to be in this relationship, and as if divine feminine is the one that's interfering, but divine feminine knows better. She knows better, right? So then when the karmic mentions that R, is friends with the people that, the group of men, or the man specifically, that attacked her, now she's sitting back and she's wondering what happened, what changed. Y'all, this karmic is a piece of work. This karmic is a piece of work. This karmic The third time is the charm, is a piece of work. This karmic, I don't know what was said. I don't know what was done. This karmic remained friends with R just so, because this karmic is the type of person where, like, when R said that he just wanted to be friends with this person was like, oh, that's okay, yeah, we can be friends, I would love that. This person settled for a friendship because they felt like that would be their avenue to getting to know R to the point where they could mold themselves into being the type of woman, the type of partner that R would want. This karmic never had any intention on just being friends. They were just using that avenue to stay connected to R while they basically studied and learned R so they could mold themselves into being the type of partner that R wanted, which is divine feminine, right? Y'all, this is like, this karmic is such a piece of work. And this karmic is definitely going to get theirs. They're going to get theirs. Now, I did not see what was said or what was done, but this karmic basically went to R and did and said something that made R so furious at divine feminine that R set up this encounter for divine feminine to be attacked. Right? So when all of it goes down, it's going to end up falling back on R, even though technically this karmic is the one that's pulling the strings behind the scenes the entire time. When I tell y'all, if you have a friend, at this point, like, the dream is over, right? This is where the dream ends. If you have a friend that you have been friends with for years, divine feminine, and this person is either giving you like backhanded compliments, or they're always like making little jokes at your expense and trying to pass it off as just being like funny and being humorous, but the things that they're saying are really hurtful. If this person, I feel like you would know. If this person, like, let's say you post some good news or you hear some good news and you tell this person and you tell other friends and everyone congratulates you except for this person, or if this person starts being what they call like a Debbie Downer, like they say, oh, well, let's say you tell this person, oh, I want to go back to school. And they're like, in this economy, how are you going to pay for it? Don't you have to work? How are you going to work and do school? I would never do that. I would, like, if this person automatically starts saying negative things, or if they start trying to speak fear into your plans, this person is not your friend. This person is not your friend. This person, you know how they say keep your friends close and your enemies closer? This person actually considers you an enemy and keeps you close just so they can keep tabs on you. This person sees you as competition. They see you as competition and they keep you close so that they can destroy any sort of connection that they feel that you, and it's so stupid because, like, if they even knew that you turned R, now, like, you were such a loving friend that you didn't even tell this person that R asked you out because you wanted to spare this person's feelings, right? But if this person knew that, like, R already asked you out and you already turned R down, then they would know, but they don't even have to do all of this in order to attack you because you didn't even want him to begin with, right? Even though technically the Emperor and the Empress are a perfect match. You didn't even want him. You passed over on him because of your love for this friend, because of how much you cherish this friendship. But this person is so jealous of you that they literally had something, they literally were pulling the strings, right? And had something set up for you to be physically harmed just to get you out of the way. If that is not the most craziest thing I've ever heard in my life, it's crazy. It is so crazy. And y'all know, like, okay, so I shared a short that Psychic Chrissy XO did about, like, she talked about, I made it into like a smaller clip because hers was a lot longer, where she was talking about how karmics are always so angry and how they'll jump in your comments. And I'm like, y'all know what? That's so true. That is so true, because the number of likes or comments that you get is what boosts your algorithm, right? When people go in and they like it or they post comments, that's what really helps send the videos out. I would have my channel is small, so I don't have a ton, but I would literally have like 3 times as many comments under my videos as I do now if I didn't go back and delete all of the nasty comments. Like, the majority of comments that I get are so nasty that I just go back and I delete them because, like, I'm not here for that. I'm not, like, if the video doesn't resonate, what are you angry about? Like, what do they say? Like, a hit dog hollers, right? If the video doesn't resonate, if I'm wrong, like, why would you get in someone's video, go under their comments just to tell them that they are wrong? How can I be wrong? If it doesn't fit, then the storyline is not for you. So if it's not for you, what are you so upset about? Y'all know it's so crazy because what happens is that, like, a lot of karmics are like, and like she says that karmics to her are just like low vibrational narcissists. I guess in a sense, I agree. But what tends to happen is that you have these karmics who, in their mind, they believe that they are divine feminines. They believe wholeheartedly, without a shadow of a doubt, that they are divine feminines. So they'll go and they'll listen to these readings, and it's like, it's so funny because, like, the main readings that get the most views are either ones where it's like, oh, this person is in love with you and they're coming back. Or it's the ones where it's like, this person that did you wrong is about to be like, they're about to have a tower moment. Karma is about to rain down on them. People love a good revenge story, right? People love a good love story. Or it's the ones where they're like, oh, you have money coming on. No, let's just be honest. I think when it comes to the money ones, we're all a little guilty of wanting that to be our storyline. If we're just keeping it honest here, like we all love a good, you got money coming in, right? You got nil, but you got money. But a lot of karmics will tend to watch these videos, like specifically the ones about this person that loves you is coming back, or the ones about revenge. People love a good revenge story. They'll watch that, they'll listen to it, and then as they're comparing the storyline that the content creator is relaying to the life that they're walking, living, breathing here on the 3D, they'll notice that their version, or the version of the storyline that they're living, is actually more in line with the karmic than it is with the divine feminine. And y'all, that pisses a karmic off. When a karmic listens to a story and they're listening and they're like, wait a minute, but that happened to me, that happened to me, that happened to me, and all the things that happened to you aligned with the karmic's version, or the karmic's aspect of the story, that pisses a karmic off, because you cannot convince these people that they are not the divine feminine, right? And when they and it's so funny because like Psychic Christy could not be more on point, because it's like, you went on YouTube, you started searching for videos, and more times than not, people search for the videos that tell them the story that they want to hear, right? Like there may be a video that pops up that says, hey, you need to let go, that man is not for you, or that person is not for you. They will skip over that until they find the headline that says, hey, this person loves you and they're coming back. People will literally go and skip over videos just to search for the ones that tell them what they want to hear. And then when they listen to the video that has the storyline that they want to hear and find out that the life that they're living is in line with the karmic of that storyline, that pisses karmics off. And they get so mad and so angry, and they're like, oh, you're wrong, you don't know what you're talking about. If the story doesn't resonate, then that means it's not for you. But the fact that you're getting so angry means that it does resonate. You just don't want to hear it. You just don't want to hear it, because unlike a divine feminine, karmics don't have that Queen of Cups emotional intelligence. Karmics are in like this state of arrested development, where when they hear something that they don't want to hear, their first thing is to lash out, right? Is to get angry, is to attack. So many psychic readers, so many practitioners get psychic attacks from karmics, because they get upset about a storyline that you relayed that they did not want to hear. And it's like, these are not even personal. So this is not like you're paying for a personal reading. These are general readings for the collective. And you have so many people getting psychically attacked by a karmic over a general reading for the collective that you said was wrong. That doesn't even make sense, right? But the thing is that like, if someone tells you something that's a harsh truth, right? That's a harsh truth. You can either accept it or reject it. You have the right to reject it. You don't have to accept the message. You can simply reject it and say, no, this is not my storyline. This is not for me, and move on about your day. But the fact that like these karmics hear this stuff and their immediate response is to lash out. If you hear a storyline that coincides deeply with what you are actually experiencing in your life, right? And if you hear that and you don't like what you hear, instead of listening to it, listening to the information, absorbing it, just trying to processing it, and then taking that and deciding on your next step, your next course of action, which for some could be absolutely nothing. Instead of taking that information and being mature about it like a divine feminine would do, a karmic is instead going to take it, eternalize it, right? And then become angry and lash out and want to attack. This kind of stuff is ridiculous, right? Because even the karmic in this dream, if you want a man, and there's nothing wrong with like wanting who you want, right? But at the same time, people have free will. People have free will. If you want someone and that person does not want you, let it go. 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 I don't understand why people keep holding on to situations, to relationships. And it's not even a relationship, but sometimes it is a relationship. People keep holding on to something that they know is not for them. And I don't understand that. But what makes it worse is like people that would literally go out of their way to attack. A woman that would go out of her way to attack another woman just because the person that you wants this other woman and not you, is one of the most childish and ridiculous things. Because even if that attack was successful, that person is still not going to want you. So what are you going to do? Are you going to spend the rest of your life attacking every woman that this man tries to date? Are you just going to make it to where you eliminate all? There are too many people in the world. Are you just going to make it to where you eliminate all of his options until he's left with no one but you? And even if you were successful in doing that, I guarantee you, he's still not going to want you. Because if he wanted you, you wouldn't even have to do all that just to get his attention. It is crazy. It is crazy. But there are so many There are literally so many. There are karmics that are in relationships, like that are actually in relationships right now with men that they know are in love with another woman, and still will make any excuse to stay, and will use the excuse of, well, if he wants her, why is he with me? Because she rejected him? Because you were easier? Because you were more convenient? Because you were probably there at a time where it's a homosexual thing. You are providing a roof over his head and food for him to eat, and he's using you. There are plenty of reasons why someone would be in a relationship with someone and be in love with someone else. There are plenty of reasons why. And that's not for everybody. That's not for everybody. That's not going to be everyone's situation. But as a woman, you know, if you are in a relationship with someone and their heart and their mind are with someone else, you know that. You know that. But instead of being mature about the situation, instead of leaving the relationship, instead of going out and finding someone whose heart and their soul and their mind is with you, you would rather stay with that person and try to find any way that you can to attack the woman that you know he really wants to be with. Meanwhile, Divine Feminine is over there living her life. Like I'm hearing living my life like it's golden. Divine Feminine is over there living her life like it's golden, trying to move on. But because you are so jealous, right? You are so envious, you are sending psychic attacks and sending things her way, because even though you might have him physically, you don't have him mentally, right? You don't have him spiritually. You don't truly have his heart. So you might have him physically, but she still has what you want, which is crazy, right? It's crazy. But for all of these karmics that are out here attacking these spiritual practitioners, these divine feminine, especially when it's over a man, but it doesn't even necessarily have to be a man. It could just be something that this woman has that you are jealous or you are envious of, right? And instead of working on yourself, instead of working on becoming the best version of yourself, you decide to aim all of your attention at attacking and trying to lower her. But it's not going to work, especially if she's a divine feminine, because she's going to be heavily protected. But a lot of that, y'all, I don't know why I kept getting spiritual I.E.P, but not like education plan, like literally spiritual edification plan, right? I'm hearing like Spirit is about to learn you some lessons, right? Spirit is about to teach you some morals, right? Spirit is about to teach you some morals, right? We're about to learn right from wrong. And some of y'all, not even some of y'all, for the ones of y'all that are out here attacking people unprovoked, especially for the ones I was getting a lot of like throw a rock and hide your hand, for the ones who try to go out here and attack and pretend like they're doing it out of protection. Because there's a big difference between protecting yourself, spiritually protecting yourself, and just spiritually attacking someone. But I was hearing a lot of throw a rock and hide your hand, that some of these karmics are out here spiritually attacking these divine beings, but trying to hide their hand in a manner where they're trying to make it look like, well, oh, I was just protecting myself from that person because I could feel that person was doing something towards me, and you know good and well that person is not even thinking about you. For some of y'all, I'm getting the person that you're attacking doesn't even know who you are. For some of y'all, y'all are putting a lot of time, effort, and energy towards a divine being that does not even know who you are. And it's crazy, right? It's crazy. But spirit is definitely about to be handing out some of these I.E.P plans. These karmics are about to get handed these personalized I.E.P plans because they won't get the message. And for some of y'all, you've been given way too many opportunities. The karmic in this story, like literally, like this karmic took it literally to the point of like no return. This karmic literally in this dream took it all the way to the point where she was pulling the strings to have divine feminine off. Like it don't get no worse than that. It don't get no worse than that. So this person obviously has been attacking this person over time, doing other things that apparently have not worked, if this person feels the need to crank it up all the way to this level. So if you've been attacking someone, if you've been doing spells for beauty magic, because I was getting that in another read that I did a while ago, a couple weeks ago, a day ago, whatever, a couple days ago, excuse me. If you're doing something to attack someone's finances, it's not working. You know, if you were doing someone to attack someone's relationship, it's not working because the person still wants divine feminine. Everything that you've been doing has been unsuccessful. So the only thing that you had left to do was to just completely take divine feminine out of here. So then you tried that. And not only did that not work, but now spirit is stepping in, right? Because everything else divine feminine has been successfully blocking, because this is a divine feminine who understands the importance of spiritual protection, and she heavily protects herself. So everything else you've been doing has not been successful because this is a divine feminine who spiritually protects herself. So now you try to off divine femininity, so now you have to deal with spirit. I'm getting like everything you done to me already been done to you. Everything that you've been trying to do to divine feminine, spirit is now about to do to you, right? You're about to get a heavy a heavy karmic lesson, right? But for some of y'all, matter of fact, not for some of y'all, for all of y'all that have been in that energy, you are about to get exactly what you deserve. Anyways, y'all, as always, that is the message for today. If you made it this far, thank you for listening. Bye.